The Americans were very shocked in 1957 when the Russians sent a spacecraft with Major Yuri Gagarin inside. And they just woke up to the fact that in fact not the Russians, but the Soviets were far ahead of them technologically. And they started asking themselves, what happened, How come that these people have come to overtake us technologically? And then they realized that it had something to do with their system of education. So they had to overhaul the education system in order to compete with the Russians. The Americans realized that there was something fundamentally inadequate about their education system, because otherwise the Soviets or the Russians would not have overtaken them technologically. So they overhauled the system to make sure that technological education is given priority, just like it had been given priority in the Soviet Union, in order to catch up with them, because they were the real competitors. And after they came to a decision that they have to have both humanities, social sciences, and physical and natural sciences within the curriculum, then they began to make headway. Of course, they've always been critics of space exploration within the United States. Some people felt that they really had no business going and exploring space, but in fact, it was this exploration of space that gave them answers to some of the pressing problems in human society, like many health problems were solved by looking at the state of the astronauts who went up there. So when they came down and examined them, they realized that they could actually learn something from this. So it was not true that money was wasted by doing this space exploration. And in fact, even modern computers would not have been possible without this space exploration. So there were multiple gains to be had in this. Of course, now we hear criticisms of space exploration, and one of the most vocal voices recently has been that of Prince William, the heir apparent to the British throne. This is the son of King Charles. His argument is that we have so many terrestrial problems that it is just foolhardy to waste resources in space exploration. We should first solve problems here rather than exploring there. But I don't think one can just wait to solve problems here or abandon the idea of working in space. I mean, this has become fait accompli. You know, it's an accomplished fact now that space is an integral part of, or space exploration is an integral part of terrestrial exploration. King Charles himself had been critical of this ecological interference early on. He just warned of the dire consequences of spoiling the environment. Ecology is so much part of our survival. If we are to survive as a species, then we have to pay attention to the ecology. And at the time he was warning about these things, the media poked fun at him, you know, and tried to portray him as as someone on the lunatic fringe. But in fact, he has come to be vindicated. You know, his dire warnings have come to pass now, and they are part of what should be done, and he is now taken extremely seriously. Although he doesn't feel that he was saying anything out of the ordinary. I mean, this was just self-evident. Anybody in their right senses would have seen the implications of interfering with the ecological environment. The then Prince Charles, now King Charles III, was joined hands by Sir David Attenborough in defending the preservation of the natural environment. And again, he warned of the dire consequences of meddling with the natural environment for economic gain. So he said, in the short run, people might gain out of environmental destruction, but there are going to be dire consequences for the future. And not only within the Western tradition do we have people who have expressed concerns about again, the meddling of the environment. One of the earliest was Dr. Syed Hussein Nasser, a professor of Islamic studies at Temple University, who in fact was the very first person to warn the world about the dangers of environmental degradation in a series of lectures that he gave at American University of Beirut. He was invited to give the opening lectures for the newly inaugurated Aga Khan Chair of Islamic Studies. And that culminated in his book, Man's Encounter with Nature. And he argued that classical Islamic tradition demanded that we treat the environment with respect. And the examples that are given are like those, for example, that say during Hajj, you are not allowed to cut any plant, let alone a tree, or kill an animal, because that will nullify your Hajj. And then the Quran itself talks about this ecological balance in some of its verses. So Islam itself has paid a particular attention to this. In fact, it's not Islam. This is God's own commandment on creating a balance between our needs and the needs of the future, because the future really is in the environment. Once you destroy the environment, then you really have no future. And he again gave the examples of these traditional societies. He said Islam did not take the road, for example, that was taken by the Americans. You know, this relentless moving westwards to clear the American wilderness. It did not follow that route. It just stayed in harmony with the environment. And again, that also was the case with the Hindu-Buddhist tradition. They tended to strike a balance between rapaciousness and environmental preservation.